Yo, what's good? It's your boy Whispy'S Wtf. And in this video, you guys, this is basically a new series just kind of covering a lot of the what the fuck moments and a lot of the weird theorized finds that we find, be it me or the community. And these are going to be some of the shorter videos that I'm going to make that are pertaining towards just things that we find based on pure findings, not connections, but just physicalities, if you will. And this series is purely based just to get the things that we don't necessarily know out there, okay, so that they are at least topics, not that they are solidified as facts, but that they are at least out there. Now, the first thing I'm going to bring you to is Bishop's What the Fuck. And it is one of the main little parodies, if you will, about Ripley's Believe It or Not. And they managed to have a flying saucer right in the middle of the building. And it's one of the, little Easter eggs that a lot of people have discarded as just an alien Easter egg. But here, what we're looking at is something that a lot of people kind of discarded. Right on the side of the building, alright, says the eye fish. A living eye with a tail. Okay, think about it. That is Michael. It even has a blue eye. A cake. A half cow and or horned animal. Half snake, but no bull. The reason why it possibly, you guys, says no bull, okay, could be a symbolism for the fact that a bull can be within an aspect of a buffalo. And what does Franklin drive? A buffalo. So this could mean that the evil aspect doesn't necessarily need to coincide with Franklin and the things that he is doing. But this has a lot to do with the horned serpent and possibly other things in the game. Now, this is only one. Two is the Dignity Yacht. Okay, this is a yacht that has been featured in a few missions, pretty well-known missions. One mission is the one where you're getting Tracy DeSanta from those orgy guys or whoever, they're trying to rape her, whatever the hell. Who knows what the hell's going on in that cutscene, but that is one pinnacle scene within Michael's, story, and it has a lot to do with greed, okay? And they even mention the name is suntan oil, okay? State, margaritas, and greed, okay? Now, I think that is a close reference to the aspect of just sin, greed, and the sun being all pertain to aspects of avoiding and also praising the sun. These can all be taken with a grain of salt. Again, I don't expect too many things from these connections. This is why, I'm just bringing these things out there as information. Now, aside from the Dignity, one thing I do want to show you is the Octopus. Okay, this is a huge tanker ship that is in GTA 5 and GTA 4. Okay, meaning they've made a point to put it in both games and or give a fuck about the Octopus Ship. Understand, if they wanted to put another ship, they could have easily called it something else, but no, they kept the name Octopus. And I think that this has a lot to do with certain aspects of an octopus. Now, understand one aspect of octopuses, okay, in this game that can go within duality of things that we are looking up and things that we have been talking about, okay? Now, notice this mermaid, alright? Looks very familiar, doesn't it? The red hair, the blue body. It looks a lot like Ariel, okay? And one reason why I'm saying Ariel in particular is because they've made a note in this game to mention aspects of Disney, be it Fred's and Richard's Majestic being tied to a duality of Disney. Now, once again, I do want this to be made clear. in no way, shape, or form am I saying that these are factual finds based on true connections, but these are finds based on connections that I'm seeing with just my eyes, okay? So you do not have to take them as serious as I do, but just understand that they are there. Now, an octopus, okay, when searched into GTA Wiki, we get a lot more than just a cargo ship, okay? We also get a a very interesting aspect of paradise, okay? And remember, the paradise trinity has to do with all three, whether it be the evil and or good spirit, but also the Son and the Father, okay? But it's very interesting that there are many forms of this paradise van, but one of them is an octopus, okay? There's also an octopus mural somewhere down in Vespucci that I've seen several times with my boy Herbalist. But you know, the thing is that I want you to understand that there are very tiny things that we need to look at, like Disney and, you know, possibly folklores and history, okay? But they are to tie together within other things that are talking about the exact same thing. Now, one thing that is also tied within the aspect of tentacles and or an octopus, okay, is something that we have gotten in next gen, and it could be to tie within duality of what the peach means and how evil it really can be. And this is what I'm talking about, the mini sub, okay? We all know it to be within duality, okay, of a peach, alright? And it makes perfect sense that it was given, okay, to the protagonist of Trevor Phillips, alright? But there are also dualities within what this peach and how evil it can mean, alright? Understand, the yellow and orange, alright, are also peach colors. They are within duality of each other, and they both represent the peach, the brass, and the gold, okay? But one thing that we are looking at here is another form of octopus, and that is a Kraken, okay? That is very interesting that they would actually add a fucking submarine that is tied to the peach and the evil in the game, and then they add another one, you guys, in next gen called the Kraken. Do you know what the Kraken really comes from? And if you don't know, the Kraken, alright, actually came from the back of Hades. It was ripped from the actual skull of Hades, alright? And it was created as a son of Hades, a tentacled son, and or monster of the deep that was theorized to be, honestly, Satan and or the Antichrist himself, and or the duality of a lot of things. But it's very relevant within evil things and the peach color. Even randomly on the beach, you guys, there's just little clues everywhere why they would have this peach color right by this whale. And what do we know the whale to be? A narwhal and or unicorn, the devil. Even within the characters, you guys, they put the symbolism absolutely everywhere. This woman named Ursula, okay, and she's a crazy bitch, you guys, and I mean a crazy bitch. She talks about killing her mom. She's wild in bed, a bunch of shit, and it's very interesting that out of the two characters she can fuck with, it's Trevor and Franklin, the two characters known to be tied to nature. Okay, but Ursula is also an evil bitch from fucking Little Mermaid, alright? Like I said, this just has to do with everything, okay? But it's because all of it is tied, and it's deeper than GTA, and they knew it, but we have to connect all of those things together. But, again, these are just the finds that I'm seeing with just my eyes, and not things that I'm trying to connect purely based on a Disney movie. These are things that you can take or leave. And there are a few more things that I want to show you before we go, and they're very, very interesting. and I just want to get your take on it.
And I want to give a big shout out to my boy Glitchy, because he's a good example of a good hunter who takes it upon himself to understand what I'm saying, but then take the connections to the next level. And he's a huge influence on why I feel as though Disney does have more of an influence on this game, and I really give a big shout out to him for that. He's helped me a lot on just the retrospect on the whole idea of it, and just for anyone else who has an idea or a what the fuck moment, like a possible find that they feel as though is worthy of being a find, but they don't necessarily know what it connects to, then feel free to message me, or let me know if you want me to feature your video, or if you want me to try something out for you about it, because I understand that there are just certain things that need to be brought out to light, even though they don't necessarily correlate to what people think are a jetpack and things we need to find within the game. So, just saying. Big shout out to you, Glitchy.
Okay, so what we're looking at here, you guys, is gameplay of me doing an Epsilon mission. Now, understand what I mean about this. This is very interesting, but only because of what I saw. Alright, I'm not saying that it is a key to the mystery, nor am I saying it is a step. I'm saying that it's something very interesting. Pay attention. Their car drives off. Pay attention to the car the whole time. It's driving. Mission has passed. The car is still driving. Okay? I can still see it from here. It's driving. I pull out my sniper. Now watch. You're going to see a closer glimpse of the car. Watch what happens, you guys. Now, what I try to do here is to stop their car to see what the NPCs will do, just to kind of get a figure of what the Epsilon might do when you do something unkarma based. Now, this was very interesting. I shot at their tires to stop them, and noticed that no one got out of the car, and it was very interesting. I still wondered, like, okay, well, what's going on? Why haven't they got out yet? And I was so weirded out, you guys. Like, why was the car just sitting there? By the time I got there, I realized the fucking thing was empty. I really don't understand, you guys. I don't get it, even to this day. What happened to them? Their door did not open, period. When NPCs leave, alright, they leave their fucking doors open, period. They don't close their fucking doors and leave. I'm not saying that this isn't a glitch. I'm just saying that it's very interesting. That these are the most paranormal fucking people we know to be in the game, and this is something very odd. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you here is something very interesting, and this was gameplay of, this was me and my boy Herb and my boy Eilish Joshi, and we were just fucking around, kind of by Trevor's neighborhood, and something very interesting happened around Ron's trailer, and I do want to talk about that for a second before we go there. Is the aspect of Ron. He's actually noticed a lot throughout the game, even though he's somewhat of a subpar character and he doesn't play that much of a role. Now, I'm not going to exclude the aspect of DLC here, and my whole point here is not to judge certain things on just aspects of thought, because this here, you guys, is not thought out, nor is it connected to anything that I have personally researched myself. So understand, when I show you this, I'm just showing you this because it's interesting and because I really do not understand why it would be here. If you do, then clarify for us, and that'd be great. But I mean, the night it happened to us was very, very odd, and we were astounded because it made no sense to us. And I think my biggest point to this, well, you know what? Let me let me finish the video, and then I'll get to my biggest point.
Go where? I'm in first person. I don't see shit though. Yeah. Yes. No. That says. Wait. You talking about the green letters? I see green letters at the bottom. At the bottom. Well, yeah, no, I see those. I see those. This is like Robber for. It looks like top or hop at the bottom. One thing that's pretty fucking interesting in general, though, is the bottom of this fucking door and how it's lit. Like, you see that very bottom? Is that like because there's light under there? What the fuck? Did I just do that? What the fuck? I swear. I just opened this door. What did I just do, y'all? What is this?
Okay, now, understand, you guys. If there was a cutscene in Ron's house, then I understand if that's why this is here. I don't understand why they would go through the trouble, okay, of having something there like that if there was no cutscene there, though. That's what I don't get. I mean, is it there for future cutscenes, maybe DLC? Possibly not. I actually did, figure out a way to glitch in there. And did I see too much? No. But understand, my biggest point, and that's what I'm getting to, is the fact that if I open this fucking door with a sniper, how many doors are openable with a fucking sniper that we haven't noticed?